A nearly 70-page-long report on the truth about the U.S. fight against COVID-19 has been released, compiled by researchers and scholars from 3 major think tanks in China, including one based at Beijing's Renmin University. The report says over 600,000 Americans have lost their lives to the virus due to the mismanagement of the crisis, pointing out some U.S. media still rated the country number 1 in the world for its pandemic response.
Ridiculous, absurd example is the Bloomberg and other reporting that, on a ranking, COVID resilience ranking, the United States comes number 1. I mean, this can't be taken seriously. This is the most absurd proposal I think I've seen.
The report blames partisanship in U.S. politics for lives affected and lost. It also points out how Republicans and Democrats have vastly different opinions on how to fight against COVID-19.
When it comes to issues like vaccination, social distancing, and almost any policies regarding COVID-19 containment, U.S. politicians have barely reached a consensus. This is the tragedy of America's political and social system.
One expert argues if the coronavirus pandemic didn't happen amid fraying China-U.S. relations, the story could have been much different.
COVID-19 was probably the greatest test of governance the world has seen since the Second World War. The United States and the West failed miserably.
The report also argues that the U.S. is undermining the global response to the pandemic by allowing the virus to spread in its borders and around the world, worsening the situation.
Even after COVID-19 spread within its borders, more than 20 million American citizens have traveled abroad. The U.S. bears unshakable responsibility for the global spread of the pandemic.
The report concludes by saying the U.S. is worthy number 1 in the world in several categories, including playing a role in spreading of the virus as well as spreading misinformation, something hampers the efforts to unite and to stop the pandemic hand in hand with China and the world.